During college, I lived in an apartment with a community pool. There were a bunch of us having beers at the pool one night over summer term, and one of my friends ran to jump in the pool but changed his mind at the last second. His feet slipped out from under him on the wet concrete and he went down. He broke his neck in the edge of the pool, never walked again, and had extremely limited upper body function. I watched someone's life be ruined and it was terrifying. Listen to the lifeguard and walk. I had a guy tell me a story a couple decades ago about how he was hiking in an area in South America and wandered away from other hikers in the area. The ground was wet, and without warning, it gave away and he got sucked into a fast-moving underground river. Pitch black, completely submerged, and at the mercy of the current as it buffeted him against the sides of the tunnel. After some time, the current subsided and he realized he was in a larger pocket, still pitch black and submerged. He said that even as he struggled to hold his breath, he didn't panic and realized that the water had to keep moving somewhere. So he moved around until he found another tunnel that sucked him in. At one point, he began to see light, so he punched upwards, broke through the ground and pulled himself out, soaking wet, gasping for air, and a bit of a distance from the other dry hikers, who were somewhat bewildered when they saw him straggling up to them. The New London School Explosion. A school in Texas in 1937 tried to tap into natural gas on their own, and it ended up leaking and blowing up the school. It's the reason they make natural gas scented in Texas, and probably the US now. I'm amazed I never heard of this in school because it seems like something that should be taught. I read some survivor stories and I had fucking nightmares. It was horrible. 3 in particular stuck with me. One was a 7 or 8-year-old girl. She saw her best friend and playmate with her entire body crushed by concrete, with only her shoulders and head above it. And she still had a lollipop in her mouth like she didn't know what happened. Another was a guy, I think a 16 to 17-year-old, helping undig people and bring them out of the wreckage. He saw a dad holding his daughter, crying his eyes out, while the back of the girl's head was broken open with her brain on the ground next to her. The last was a 9-ish-year-old girl who went to find her mom after it happened. There was a PTA meeting going on at the time, so there were a lot of parents at the scene. Her mom was freaking out trying to find her, but didn't even recognize her. She went up to her mom and called out to her, but she just keeps saying, "You're not my daughter." She was so covered in blood and ash and tears that her own mother couldn't recognize her. It was a truly horrifying thing. The kidnapping of Colleen Stan. She was hitchhiking in the 70s and turned down rides because they didn't seem safe. A van with a young couple and a baby offered her a ride, and because it was a family, she accepted. They held her at gunpoint, put a giant box on her head that blocked out noise and sound, and later kept her in a box the size of a coffin underneath their bed. She was brutally beaten and raped daily for 7 years. They also brainwashed her to believe that they were part of a mafia called The Company that would kill her family if she tried to escape. Eventually, the wife held her escape and received immunity for testifying against her husband at trial. The case is known as the girl in the box.